Welcome to my channel. My name's Bill, aka Billy Goat. Today is October 30th, 2021. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the 12th mower that I bought for my business, and that's the 2019 Ferris FW15. Back in 2018, my wife and I went to the GIE in Kentucky for the very first time. And we were coming up to the Ferris booth, and there was a bunch of people hovered around a mower. And it happened to be the prototype of this mower. And it was real interesting because it wasn't quite a push mower, but it wasn't exactly a walk behind either. And it really, caught my attention. And after looking it over, I'm thinking I would really like, to try something like this. Well, at the time they didn't have it as a demo, so you couldn't, try it out, out in the outside there, in the demo area. But they said that it would be available for next year, the 2019. They just had it there to, I guess, to get the final feedback, from landscapers before they put it in production. After talking to the salespeople there at the show, they said that when these mowers first come out, their first generation will have fixed wheels, and later on, towards the summer, they'll come out with a second generation with the swivel wheels. So I decided to wait until the summer of 2019 when dealers started, offering the this machine with the swivel wheels. And my dealer that I dealt with, they became available, I believe, in August of 2019. I also wanted to hold off a little bit too. This mower here, when the first generation came out, they still didn't have the bagger system ready, and that wouldn't be more likely available until the summer as well. I was disappointed once they came out with the bagger for this mower. Even though it was a rear bagger, they used the side discharge with a tube that fed into the bag. And if you know me, I'm not a fan of using a tube to bag clippings or leaves, mainly because if you are trying to bag wet grass or wet leaves, it will have a tendency to clog. I still really wanted to get the mower, but I decided not to get the bagging system. I believe at the time the bagger for this mower retails at $500. So I ended up just buying the mower. Ended up paying just about $3,000 for the mower. $299, and the with the sales tax being nearly $180, so out the door price just below $3,200 for this mower here. The dealer that I bought the mower from, they are Kohler equipment. It's not the same as the Kohler engines. It just happens to be, I guess, their last name I'm not sure, but they're not affiliated with the Kohler engines. They're out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. So if you're near there and interested in Ferris mowers, I'm not sure the other mowers that they carry, but they do have a fairly small showroom. It's not huge, but they have a big warehouse in the back that they have a lot of mowers back there. So if you are looking for something, they do stock quite a few mowers. Alrighty, before I get into the features of this mower, I'd like to give a shout out to Bud. He has a channel called Handy Guy 2016. He's posted a lot of videos on the FW15, and he's one of the reasons I decided to purchase this. He did some in-depth reviews and some performance capabilities, as far as cutting and cutting on hills and such. And by watching his videos, it really inspired me to really look into purchasing this mower. Okay, let's do a walk around. We'll start off with the motor, and we're equipped with a Honda GXV390, which is a 10.2 horsepower 390cc engine. With this one happens to be a recoil start. We also has I believe it's a half-gallon fuel tank on there. I know landscapers that have commercial mowers prefer to have at least a 1 gallon fuel tank, but it is what it is. This one in particular, when you start it, you do have to choke it sometimes, if it is cold. And it also has a really cool, has like this buzzer on here. If your oil level is low, it'll kind of alert you that it does need oil. So that is a pretty cool little thing for this motor. The most talked about feature with the FW15 is the drive system. And it's actually a hydrostatic, which is a for this unit here, it's the peerless axle with the differential chain, and it's driven by the Hydro Gear RT 310 pump and motor. It's just a single pump motor there, but it's still it drives both wheels. The differential will help when you turn left or right. It's really easy to use the controls. Look at it like self-propelled. It's self-propelled forward and reverse, and you can pretty much on level terrain, you can pretty much just use one hand to control it. You can use your right or left hand. You just pretty much need your thumb or your index finger, or a combination of both. I go back and forth depending on the comfort as I'm using the mower. But in a nutshell, to go forward, you just use your thumb and just push on this lever here, and the mower will go forward up to what you set your speed at. So from here, you can adjust your speed from 1 mile an hour to 4 mile an hour, depending on how much you push down on the lever here. And in reverse, it's just as simple. You just use your index finger and pull back, or you can use your thumb to lift up, or you can use a combination of both. It's real easy. I found that you can turn fairly easy in the forward as you're going forward, but I noticed that when you want to turn in reverse, it turns much easier in reverse. So when you're doing like 3-point turns, I try to put yourself in the position to turn while you're going in reverse versus forward. But it isn't too difficult to turn while the mower's in the forward mode. This unit here that I purchased has the swivel front wheels, you can have it in the swivel mode, or you can change the clips here to lock the wheels to go in straight. I've never had to lock the wheels. They say if you're doing hills and those kind of things to lock the front casters, but I find it much easier if you pretty much steer like you would just like a regular push mower. Just kind of raise the the mower up, deck up a little bit, and steer that way, versus trying to struggle on hills, because if you just let the casters steer, it'll want to force the mower to go downhill, and it does make it a little bit strenuous to cut on hills. The height adjustment is real easy. It's just a pin here you pull out, and the whole deck raises up and down. They do have this number system. It's kind of weird, but it goes from 1.5 to I believe 4.5 on the deck height. I kind of start with because 1 is actually 1.5, but I usually, like with 2, I know 2 is 2 inches, so you go from like 2 inches to 2.5 to 3 inches. So 4, if you got it on position 4, it's actually 3 inches. It's kind of weird, but once you kind of get the numbers in your head, you can easily know what height you're at. So let's see what else we got here. It is a the FW15 is a 32-inch deck. It is a timed deck. It's not a staggered deck. I'm also not a fan of timed decks, because you could damage something if it gets out of time. But it is what it is. I haven't had any issues yet, so just keep an eye on on the belts, and make sure they don't wear out and break. And also, I've made some modifications since I've had the mower. I bought it in September of 2019, and since then there's let's see here, there's 296 hours on the motor there. I believe in 2020, because I bought it at the end of 2019, at the end of the summer, but I used it in 2020, and I put probably 200 hours on it. This summer here, I haven't used it this summer. This mower became my wife's mower. She started to work with me full time, and she uses this mower from time to time. And I believe with it being almost 300 hours, she's probably put 100 hours on it herself. And she really likes this mower. She doesn't love it, she just really likes it. And the reason is I had the same problem, is that the handlebar is straight. And if you notice on most mowers now, they're ergonomic type handlebars. And being a straight bar like this, you get, if you use the mower for several a few hours at a time, or if you're using it day after day, you start getting a lot of fatigue in your wrists and arms. And I guess because it's just not a natural, you know, grip. Versus, you know, mowers today, they start to angle the bars, you know, to make it more ergonomic. And that's one thing this winter I want to try to modify or do something to this handlebar to make it more ergonomic, because you know, if you had it more in a natural stance, you know, I think that, you know, it'd be a lot more comfortable to use. So she's a big fan of the Toro Time Master as well, and she prefers the Toro because the Toro does have the ergonomic handlebars. And like you say, most mowers are you know, designing those type of handlebars. I'm surprised that Ferris hasn't you know, looked into this, you know, try to, you know, redesign it or do something to, you know, make it a little bit more comfortable for you know, landscapers that use this mower like we do on a daily basis. So and the other thing is the bagging system. Like I say, that it originally comes or has a rear bagger, but like I say, I'm not a fan of the tube, so I went ahead and put my I had, before this mower here, I had the World Lawn, the 28-inch walk behind, and it had a bagger system. And I took the, you know, I didn't, when I sold that mower, I kept the bagging system, and I figured, well, you know, I could put it on the Ferris. So it's really easy to use the bagger on this. I just mounted it on here, and I can use it, you know, the World Lawn bagger on there, and make it a side discharge. You know, I like the fabric grass catchers versus, you know, having the you know, the metal style grass catchers, because they just seem, you know, bulkier and more awkward to work with versus a you know, a fabric you know, bag. Let's see, I also installed my version of the Chute Blocker, because if you watch my other videos as well, all my mowers, I like to be the 3-in-1 you know, system, you know, where I can easily discharge, bag, or, you know, put it, you know, shoot, you know, block the chute, and you know, put it into, you know, what I'd call mulch mode. It's not a true mulching, but, you know, but I can block the chute, and that's controlled by this switch up here. All I have to do is just you know, push the button, you know, left and right, and, you know, it adjusts the chute blocker accordingly. Real easy to use. And, you know, I'll talk about the design and the parts and everything in a future video. Also, I bought the, if you notice underneath here, there's a drain tube for the oil. I wanted to install that. It's a install kit that Ferris offers. Some people use the pump to pump the oil out. I'm not a big fan of the pump, because you'll leave the sludge at the bottom of the engine. I prefer the drain drain all the oil out. It just makes it, I just feel better that, you know, I get all the oil, especially the sludge and whatnot. And let's see, I don't want to run this video too long. If you watch Danny Lanier of Lanier Lawncare, he had a FW15. He did a review on it and talked about a few things that he liked and didn't like. And one of the things that he thought they should improve on is the you know, be able to flip the handlebars up. Most of the time, most landscapers, you know, when they carry push mowers, it's always you know, a little spot, you know, where they can kind of squeeze in a push mower, and when you have your handlebar sticking out, it makes it a little bit more difficult to you know, put it on the trailer, or even when you're you know, storing it and not using it, you'd like to be able to flip the handlebar up. What I did was I took the bolts out that you use, and I replaced the I left the pivot one on both sides, and the one down here I just used a clevis pin. You can just pop it out, and you can you know, take these out, and you can, you know, on both sides, and you can flip the handlebar forward. So when you are you know, on the trailer, you can easily put the handlebars, you know, flip them up, you know, when you're you know, have it on the trailer. And then when you're you know, when you're at the property and you need to use the mower, you can flip the handlebars back and pop the pins back in. So it's kind of a little modification that I did. It makes things a little bit easier, you know, on the trailer, because I have a small trailer, and I had the same situation with the handlebars. Alrighty, that's about it for this video. Like I always say in my other videos, if you got any you know, questions or anything you want me to you know, talk about with the mower, I can answer them in the comments, or I can make another video if need be. And let's see, I'll see if I can show some actual footage of this mower. I don't have any of me using this mower, but I do have my wife Michelle using this mower on a property that we take care of. It's actually a dog training facility. They train them to, you know, jump over hurdles and go through tubes and those kind of things, and we find it easier for my wife. She loves using this mower to cut that property, because there are at times a lot of things that we have to, you know, mow around and under, and you know, this mower makes it, you know, really easy. There's times where they have like these they put like ribbon or string across the ground to use as I guess guides for the dogs and such. The trainers out there, they run with the dogs most of the time, and this property, they need to have it cut super short. We cut anywhere from like 2 inches to 2.5, and they don't want the turf torn up either, so, you know, they don't want big mowers on there. the property that it's on, it's you know, if we get a little bit of rain, it makes the ground really soft, and it takes, you know, a few days to a week for it to dry out. So we use on the lower and middle part of the field, we'll use this mower primarily, and I'll use my Skag on the upper part, you know, because it is more dry. And but she does pretty much you know, half of the field, you know, with this mower, while I'll weed whack pretty much around everything, and then she'll you know, she'll mow, and then I'll finish up with the big mower around the property. And we pretty much knock that out, you know, anywhere from between an hour and a half, depending on how wet, you know, the grass is. And we usually cut it first thing in the morning, so it is usually you know, wet from dew, or if we did have rain. So it's always constantly we're cutting wet grass there. And it is also a crabgrass field for the most part, at least the lower part is. And you know, we definitely need a strong enough mower to you know, cut, you know, decent and short. So this is the mower. So I'll leave it the video with her. I'll get some footage together, and you know, you can see her in action, and we'll catch you in the next video when we talk about my I guess it's the 13th mower. The 13th mower I have is the Toro Time Master. So looking forward to getting that one down, and we can move on to the next one. All right, we'll catch you later. See you. Hey!